Hello, everyone. You are live with Jonathan Maness, aka the One-Leg Bandit, and today we are talking about Arise Healthcare Products Q2 Solution. And I have the CEO of Arise with us today, Ms. Charleen Solomon. I'm going to bring her in a second. But today we're talking about the fight against COVID. It's flaring up again. You know, lots of things going on throughout the country. And this product is truly a lifesaver and a game changer in this aspect. For our nurses, they can get in, get the job done, and get on to the next patient much, much quicker with this product. I'm so proud to be a partner with Arise and with Q2 Solution and Standard Fiber. They're outstanding partners, and I just love being with them. So right now, with no further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Charleen. Hello, Charleen.
Hi, Jonathan. How you doing?
Doing good. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And, you know, it's Friday, but it's all good. This message has got to get out. You know, we're doing really good things with the VA. And I wanted to talk with you today about the COVID aspect of the Q2 solution and what's on the forefront here.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for having me. Such an honor to be here and to be able to talk to our veterans. That's, you know, I am the granddaughter of a veteran, my grandfather, my father, my brother, my uncle. And so I'm just really excited to be able to work with the VA. The thing that's happening right now throughout the United States is COVID is coming back, and it's coming back in a worse way. It's coming back to where people are waiting longer to get into the hospitals. So their lungs and their infections in their lung and their respiratory are worse than the last year. And so now we're also dealing with what's called the Delta variant. And with the Delta variant, it's not as bad as the original COVID, but it is spreading more than the original COVID. So here in California now, we're shutting down again. So with COVID, with our product, what happens with that is you have to gear up in PPE. You know, it's the personal equipment to be able to protect yourself from this COVID. So nurses have to, it takes about 20 to 22 minutes just to gear up, just to walk into the room. And what's happening now, I've been told throughout the hospitals, is that patients are only being turned about 4 times a day. And that causes pressure ulcers. So pressure ulcers are on the rise as well. And so with our product, you can, instead of having to have 2 nurses go in and turn and change a patient, 1 nurse can go in and turn and change the patient because of the extended arms on the product. With our turning and changing system, the weight of the patient is attached to the bed rail and it's off of the nurse. Did we play a video?
Well, Charleen, I'm about to hop into the video, but I do want, you know, to let everyone know that it just makes sense. If it takes 22 minutes to get dressed, to go into the VA, to the ward where the COVID patients are, to get there to take care of them and to turn them, they're only going to turn them about half the time that they normally would if they didn't have to do that. And it just makes common sense. So what I want to do right now, I'm going to share the video with everyone. I want you to take a second, watch this video, kind of get the gist of what we're talking about. Then we'll break down the Q2 solution and really get into why it's saving so much time and helping so many people not get the pressure ulcers and just have better quality and better care at the VA or any hospital that's out there. So let me go ahead and pull this up, and I'm going to start this video right now. So please enjoy.
So yeah, no, I've been testing the Q2 for a couple weeks now. I really like it.
This thing is the lifesaver. So this is the money. This is the money shot right here of how great that is. Because we have patients that are up to probably 200 pounds. Still can hold it, and even when they push back, it doesn't rip. Now, so the patients love the fact that when we turn them, we're hands-free. And I've been told that these things are sharp daggers, right? So especially the older, fragile ones, when you turn them and you have to hold them, right? Typically, these 5 fingers, 10 fingers are gonna, at some point, gonna be on a pressure point.
Better. I feel more secure that the patient is anchored nicely, and it gives me that access.
And of course, it saves your back. So a lot of times we have patients who are cognitively, you know, they not with it. So they instantly want to push back. You roll them this way, they push back. That blows your back out. As soon as you're doing that, it twists it, and I can tell you I got back in.
It's saving some stress on our backs, and that is huge. I mean, because when you talk about a career cumulative stress, that I think, you know, over the years, to take that much pressure off my spine is going to be really great. I feel the difference while I'm doing it, because, you know, more than anything, it's like, oh good, I'm not straining.
It helped me a lot in positioning the patient. It's more convenient because it's accessible and easy to roll it, and then at the same time it holds the bigger part of the body, which is somewhere in the hip, and that's a big part, especially if you're by yourself, no help here.
So I'm back with you, Charleen. So, you know, the people that are watching this can definitely get the idea. You know, the turning assist greatly helps time saving and to roll the patients over. But let's start first. Let everyone know what the Q2 solution was just approved for as far as COVID goes, if you don't mind.
Yes, we were just approved to be COVID-19 infection control approved, which means that they can use different funds, and this product has qualified to be able to be in the same room as a COVID patient. Now, the exciting part about this product is it holds nearly 1.5 times the amount of liquid that a standard chucks that you're using right now. So if you're only going to be turned and changed 4 times a day, that standard chucks is going to be completely soaked through. And then it also has little beads inside of it. And then it starts to bunch up like a ball, the old ones. And so when the patient is lying on that, you know, for 24 hours, or, you know, for 8 hours, that little lump, you can't have any lumps because that's what causes pressure ulcers or skin tears. With our product holds that liquid into a gel, and that gel separates smoothly. So you are laying completely flat. There is no lumps or bumps or that type of thing. And the other thing about our product is it has 2 layers of wick away. And wick away sounds, it's a funny word, but it literally wicks the water away from the patient. And after a patient voids, it is probably less than 10 seconds before the pad is dry again. So that's just so exciting for me, being in healthcare and seeing what happens with patients that are just lying there for so long and not getting the care they need, because we're 35% understaffed with nurses. And so we talk about having 2 people go in and turn and change, but you got to find somebody. and then you have to wait to find that somebody. So our product just answers the questions to all of these things that nurses have been looking for. They want weight off their back. They want to be able to turn their patient easily. They want the patient to lie on a product that doesn't bunch. And they want to be able to do it quickly. You had mentioned before that it was, we took a test and we did a time rated test. On the standard, it takes 22 minutes to turn and change a patient, and with ours, it takes 9. So you're being exposed for literally half of the time, and the patient's being less exposed for half of the time. So there's so many different qualities that work in this one product, and I would urge you to get a sample from Jonathan and see for yourself. You can take a bottle of water, pour it on, and you'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Charleen, we, as you know, are getting the product out to many VAs throughout the country already, sending samples out and growing this product line. You are the most loyal partner that's out there. We've been together now from day one, and I really appreciate you, and we're just doing great things together. And everyone knows now the VA request, you have to have a sample request filled out from the VA. So in other words, you don't just send samples to the VA anymore. They get chunked in the trash. Anybody that's watching this at a VA, if you want to save your nurses' backs and change their life, anybody in logistics, anybody that's out there, lead nurse, CLC, you reach out to us and we will have these samples sent out to you the very next day. And it's already on DAPA. We're fully ready to go to ship these products out to you immediately. And you will be blown away by the amount of stress that it'll take off you, especially in the COVID ward, but just throughout your entire nursing floor. So we're here for you on that. Charleen, so give me some more feedback that you've been hearing lately from the nurses themselves. I know we just did the testimonials, but it's helping their backs. But what is it doing for the patient satisfaction?
That's interesting, because being in the healthcare field for so long, we didn't take into consideration patient satisfaction and the cost of patient satisfaction. So now we're finally starting to see that it's expensive not to have a happy patient. And with our product, the patient, because of the extended arm, the patient feels very secure. There's not 4 people, or 2 people digging into them and hitting a pressure point. There's only 1 person. There's a dignity issue there too. Instead of having 2 people in, there's only 1. This is a difficult time that patients are going through, and we want to protect them as much as possible. And your soldiers, there's a level of dignity that has been misplaced by using just a standard flat chucks. With ours, you're completely covered and you're on your side. There's only 1 person going in to turn and change you. So I just think that as far as patient satisfaction, I'm hearing that they feel like they won't fall out of bed. They feel like they don't have fingers digging into them. They feel less exposed, and they just feel more secure. It's very comfortable. I have been in it many times. It's very comfortable.
And Charleen, a lot of times we've done a lot of these videos together, but if you would, let everyone know that's watching this video know about your story. You are a nurse. You created this product. You come up with it in your mind, and it's your baby. So you know what you needed a solution for. You thought it up and you made it happen. And now we're all the way to here. We're getting it out to all these facilities. But let everyone know a little bit about yourself, please.
I'm just a little girl from Gilroy. I'm just a very simple nurse that wanted to solve a problem. I had a problem. Can I take just a couple minutes to tell them how I invented it?
Take the time.
Okay. So I had a hospice patient, who was a pillar in the community. He was an FFA president. He was a teacher. He was a dairy farmer. And in in our little community, he was kind of a king. And he was 95. Really wanted to make it to 100, but we had he turned 95. We had 300 people for his party, but he was in kidney failure, and he knew his time was limited, and so he wanted to pass in his home. And so I had already done a 12-hour shift, and my replacement didn't come in. My back is now on fire because he weighed 180 pounds. So I'm turning and changing this man because he has people coming through the house to say goodbye. And not just one or two, it's like 30 a day. And so every 2 hours, I'm turning and changing and making him look fresh and dignified. And I had ice on my back with an ACE bandage. You know, I'm like, oh my gosh, please somebody come and relieve me. Well, it didn't happen. They didn't show. And so I said, oh my gosh, I got to take a break. So I went into my car. I had my sweatshirt tied around my waist. I sat down in the car and I closed the car door, and the sweatshirt sleeve got stuck in the door. And I looked at that sleeve and I went, aha. So I grabbed my sweatshirt, grabbed the scissors out of my pocket, tucked underneath the patient, cut out the center, and attached the sleeve to the arm of the bed rail. And all that weight was off me now. All that 180 pounds was gone. And I had two hands. Normally you have one hand. You're cleaning with one hand and you're holding with the other. And so now I'm hands-free. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need this, right? I need something like this. And so I went into work the next day and I asked procurement. I said, do you have something like this that has extending supports on an incontinent pad? And we searched and there was nothing. And I thought, this is my third patent. I think I now have 7, but upcoming I have 4 more. But I said to myself, if it's not out there, after I did the patent search, I said, I have to bring this to market because my peers, your soldiers, as nurses, everyone that I knew had been injured. 93% of nurses are injured in their career from boosting or turning a patient. And we're 35% understaffed as it is. And I said, I love my profession and I want my peers to stay in this profession because pressure ulcers are so on the rise. And I don't know if you know what a bed sore is, but it is a sore where the skin goes away and then it starts to expose everything underneath. And it's very painful. And 60,000 people a year die from pressure ulcers, more than car accidents. And there is so much litigation going on with nurses hurting themselves, and then they turn in a workers' comp claim. So the expense to the hospital is phenomenal. So I said there has to be a way to solve this. Just my mom, we lived on a 500-acre ranch. My grandmother had 500 acres, and you couldn't come to my family with a problem if you didn't have a solution. So in my head, I'm always thinking of, instead of just complaining, like, what's the solution? That's why I named this the Q2 solution. That's how it got started. So I decided to bring it to market myself.
And you've done an outstanding job. I'm just so glad to be your partner, Charleen. So
glad to have you.
Well, what we're doing right now, we're spreading the word far and wide. We've been doing these videos. They're working. We're getting the samples out. It is a grinding process, but we're getting that done. But we've just got to let anyone that know that's watching this, it's not just about the nurses right now. It's also about the COVID factor of it. We really want to beat that home, because if you can take down from 2 nurses and get to 1, and if you can do it in half the time, that's half the exposure, and that could save and lead to a lot of lives saved, and definitely a lot of infections saved and time in the actual COVID ward. So that's what we're trying to do. Anybody that's watching this, if you need a sample, just reach out to the 1-Leg Bandit, Maness Veteran Medical. We'll get those sent right out. And before we go here, Charleen, is there any other topics that you would like to talk about at this time? Anything that you wanted to get out there to the viewers?
Well, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And it's just so important to me to be able to give you a solution. And I promise you, if you try this and your patients try this, this product works. It works like a dream for us and for patients. It handles two things. But with this COVID, nurses, we lost a lot of nurses due to COVID. And this product, being exposed half the time, that's important. Hold your breath half the time instead of the whole time, and I feel like that's what we're doing. We're holding our breath and we're trying to come up for air. This is the solution to that. And I promise you that your patients will love it. It's comfortable. And we're starting to expand across the United States. So we did have a trial with the second largest healthcare company in the United States, and we reduced their pressure ulcers by 50%, and their working nurses' injuries by 100% for the 4-week trial that we were there. That's amazing.
That is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. Well, we are at 20 some minutes here, Charleen. I know it's kind of a short video, but I wanted to utilize this to get the word out today. We're going to utilize this in the marketing. But anybody watching this, we are here for you. We're all in the same fight together. We're Maness Vetter Medical, and Arise is always trying to get these products out to help folks. So thank you. And Charleen, I really appreciate your team's time and your time. I hope you have a wonderful day today, okay?
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for what you're doing for our country.
We appreciate you. So, everyone, that was Charleen right there with us again today. And Arise is just a product you have to try. All you got to do is pick up the phone or email me. I will get these samples out to you, no problem. Once you try it, it will change your hospital or your long-term care facility, wherever you're working at, turning and changing patients. This is something you need to have. You don't have to put them in the lifts. You don't have to take all the time to change them like that. This really cuts down on the time and just saves your facility money and saves your nurses back. So that's what we're trying to do. Well, either way, hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for spending a few minutes with us today, and we'll holler at you next week. Thank you.